Good morning. Thank you so much for joining me on this replay. And hello, good morning to all of my YouTube followers listening on the podcast. Welcome to all of you guys. I am Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick, and this is Win the Day. We come together on Tuesday and Thursday, 10 a.m for us to talk about something to help keep our businesses moving forward. My entire objective as a business coach is really empowering women to break the 100K income ceiling. Do I help guys? Do I have guy clients? Absolutely. Guys, you're not excluded, but I just have a passion to make sure that we women are getting this done because I understand the sacrifice that it means to be a mom, to be a wife, to be a daughter and an auntie, and all the things that come with our womanhood that we try to balance when it comes to business. And a lot of us just don't know how to do that. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I titled this something that actually irritates me and kind of intentionally. So the title is Time is on Our Side. And if my mother is watching this, she is going to crack up because that is the title of this song that I hate. Okay, can I tell y'all I hate this song? The song is gosh, why can't I think? Oh, here you go. Time is on your side. Yes, it is. I hate it. Oh my gosh, I hate it so much because it comes from that little crazy movie, and I don't even remember. It's not Sixth Sense, it's something else. But I don't like those movies where it's like the spirit of something like jumps from person to person. That is freaky. I do not like it. But I think that was appropriate for what I'm talking about today. Time is on your side because most of you absolutely hate dealing with time management. My husband tagged my mom. Oh, see how this is going to turn out. This is going to be terrible. But anyway, most of us really hate when we have to get to the nitty gritty of time management. But for us to be productive in our business, to make the money that we want, we have to start with being more productive and managing our time. And to be honest with you, a lot of people ask me this at the onset of our relationship with me coaching them or them being tuned in to Win the Day, and especially people who know me personally because I have 3 kids. My oldest is in college. My younger two, my son, the middle child, is in high school. He's a junior, junior class president, and my daughter is 14. She's going to high school next year, right? My son plays football. My daughter's in debate club or speech. No, she actually does the speech part of like a speech and debate team. I am a part of the parent reps at their school. I am active in my church. I teach, I coach you guys one-on-one, and I run groups. I also run accountability groups, and I'm a part of accountability groups for my own business. And I have other like executive clients that I work with that I am, it feels more like I'm a part of their executive team the way that I was kind of hired to work with them. So that's a lot, right? That's a lot on my plate, a lot of different types of meetings, a lot of different objectives that I had all day long. And since my husband is on here, my husband is a football coach. He has his own businesses and we're married, right? So we still date each other, all of those great, wonderful things. And so for a lot of you, you're thinking like, how in the world are you getting all that done? Because here I am balancing like one child and one this and one that. But the technique is the same. So time is on your side, is for all of us, whether you're balancing the 30 things that I like to balance or the 5 things that you need to get done. the time management concept is the same. So today I'm gonna try something different, which I have not done in a very long time, which is use some visuals. So if you are just listening and you have a way that you can look at the screen from time to time, definitely do that. But if not, I will talk us through this so that you can still understand the bigger point, right? So a lot of times, the reason why we get into this time management conversation and start to feel so frustrated or feel so irritated, the way like when I sang that little crazy song, is because we see other people being super productive and then we look at ourselves like, what am I doing wrong? And a lot of times you really just can't figure that out. And so I'm going to be breaking down like how you can look at your time, how you can avoid some time traps, and how you can start to shift. So this is a tip that we're going to talk about this today on Thursday, but I want you guys to implement it next week and tell me all about it, right? I want you to go to your calendar for next week and put these things into practice right away. So when you don't implement time management, avoiding of time traps, and really grasping that time is on your side, when you avoid this, then you end up wasting a ton of time on like social media. You'll be scrolling, you'll be looking for something in particular, and then before you know it, an hour or 2 hours has passed. You will decide, I'm gonna watch this episode, and if this is something you do, just like it, right? Or say, oh gosh, you tapped on my time trap, right? So if social media is your thing, that you just say, I'm gonna be on there for 20 minutes or 15 minutes. I never say I'm going to be on there for 15 minutes because it takes me a little longer to respond to all your comments. But some people literally, they say I'm going to be on there for 15 minutes. I feel bad for them because I know for sure they use like 2 hours. Anyway, social media, probably the biggest time trap that we have right now. Second is things like Netflix, Hulu, TV. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You turn the TV on to watch one episode, and by that fourth episode, you're just like, okay, that's the last one. But I mean, goodness, you were going to take 20 minutes or 40 minutes, and now that has turned into 4 times the amount. Like, that is a huge time trap. The other thing that we don't pay attention to, and if we don't implement these strategies, this is what happens all the time, especially to moms, right? Somebody calls you and you try to do whatever they ask you to do real quick. That real quick is what gets us every single time. So like me, I don't really have that many people that are calling me and asking me for favors or to do something. But what I do have are those conversations that I feel like I don't want to miss, right? So my sister does not live in the same town with me, and she is the mother of my favorite nephew in the whole wide world. And he's 3.5. He just turned 3.5 2 days ago. Anyway, I am like the best aunt ever. So whenever he calls, I want to talk to him, right? Because I don't get to actually see him and pinch his cute little cheeks. So I want to talk to him. So if he calls and he does know how to call my phone, I just want to talk to him real quick, right? So we all have our vices of what we try to just throw in our schedule real quick. And for some of you, that is like running a whole errand. Like somebody calls you and says, oh, go with me to the store real quick. Or can you pick this up for me real quick? And we just feel like we have the time to do that. But I'm going to show you a way that you can do it. But it just won't be instantly, right? So those real quick things, oh my gosh, they kill our time. So if I'm stepping on your toes about the things that are sucking your time, put it in the comments or like it or love it. Like if you do this occasionally, like it when I say it. If you do this all the time, love it. Like, I mean, I know you don't love that your time is being taken, but I just want to see where you guys are. And then here's the other big problem that happens, right? After we have done a few things real quick, after we've watched 4 episodes, after we've been on social media, then we're at the end of our day feeling like we weren't that productive, and then we stay up all night trying to get stuff done. Does that sound like you? Because that absolutely sounds like me. My husband said his wife always asks him to listen to something real quick. I absolutely do. He'll be working. He'll be like on a whole phone call, Zoom call, and I'll say, "Can I tell you something?" Like I whisper as if like that makes it better. So I get it. I'm sorry, honey. But I don't know that I could stop doing it. But this is what people do to you guys all the time. He's telling y'all that people just walk up to you, like even in your house, right? And they're just like, well, real quick, can I just tell you this, right? So at the end of the day, though, these are the things that cause us to feel like we're not being productive. So what are we going to do about it? I'm going to show you what I do. Look at this. Look how cool that is. We got a whole schedule, and it goes from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., right? Now, I will tell y'all, I don't do 7 o'clock in the morning stuff. That's just crazy, but my husband does. The one who says I always ask him to do something real quick. And a lot of you are working 9 to 5, so that's why I decided to start with the early time, but I am absolutely a night owl. I should have started my day at like 10 a.m. because I typically don't schedule stuff before that time. So we're going to go through a scenario where you have some big things to do. Oh, I guess let me run through what I'm going to tell you. So the way that I think you should combat the time is on your side and really managing your day is to think of it in priority. Think of it in terms of like scheduling everything, right? So first you need to schedule in your big stuff. So if you know you have meetings, if you know you have large chunks of things to do, schedule that first. Okay, so I'm going to put my big schedule stuff. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to show this to you guys, but I'm gonna write it and then I'll just show it to you. So for today, this is our fictional day that we're about to work out. For today, I have two 2-hour meetings. So the first meeting starts at 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna put that on my schedule. So from 9 to 10, I am busy. And because this is our fictional day, I'm going to make my next meeting start at 2 o'clock. So from 2 to 4, I am also busy. All right. So see, we got some time blocks there. Then this day, I need about 3 1-hour blocks of time to get some stuff done. So I have to update my social media page, respond to people through email, and work on some content for my group coaching. So those are my 3 things that I'm getting done today, and I have to schedule that out. The other thing is I have 2 client appointments that are going to be 1 hour. So I'm going to give the clients a different color. I'm going to give them green because they already paid for that time. And I'm going to just put it in. So from 1 to 2, I have a client. And from 4 to 5, I have a client. Okay? So you see how I added my client time in, and you see how there's still some blocks of time left, and this is only 5 p.m. you guys, right? So what I told you up front was that I had 3 hours worth of things to do. Now, you can choose that you're doing the 3 hours together, which at this point, if I want to be done with my day by 5 or 6 p.m., I don't have a 3 hour window, but I have several time frames where I can either do 1 hour or like 30 minutes. So just to make this simple for the visual, I'll do 3 1-hour chunks. So I'm going to do 8 a.m., 11, and then 5. And I'm going to write in like social media, email, and content dash coaching. Okay, so let me show you guys what this looks like now. So I know what I'm doing. I have some client meetings that are already paid for and scheduled. I have my big meetings that I need to do today with other people. And then I have the my work time. So let's see. So you guys can see that. So now I have the hour of 7, noon, and then I'll be done working by 6. But I would have gotten all my big things done. Isn't that cool? So when somebody calls me and I actually answer the phone, because these are big chunks of time where I'm working, but it's not necessarily set in stone. Maybe I'm doing some client work, something like that. So those are meetings, but they're not like mandatory paid for meetings. So when somebody calls and I answer my phone at 9 o'clock, and they want something real quick, like we talked about, I can say, oh, let me call you back at noon because this is the time that I have available. If they call me and I say, well, let me call you back after 6, I can then put them on my schedule. Here's what you guys do. You say, I'm going to, well, let's put the client meetings because you can't miss those, right? So no matter what, the clients pay for their time, and you have to fulfill that. So your day, this is your week starting over here, right? So you have your 2 client meetings that are paid for, and kind of in your head, you start thinking, oh, I'm not really obligated to anything until about 1 o'clock. So let me jump on social media. And so maybe you start your day with, I'm going to do my social media work. And at 7 a.m., you start doing that. So I'm going to write it in social media. And then you start to play online. What's it called when you are on social media? Scrolling. Because remember, in your head, you didn't have that much going on until 1 o'clock. So if you got your social media stuff done early, now you have time to scroll Facebook. I'm gonna try to turn this a little bit, sorry. So now you have time to scroll Facebook because you've done some work, you're scrolling Facebook. And then I'm gonna say that somebody's gonna call you and say, can you do something for me? And you're like, okay. So now you got a real quick run. And to be honest with you, even when you do stuff and you say, I'm going to do this real quick, it tends to take over an hour. Like even if you had a 20-minute task, you organize yourself, especially if you got to go to the grocery store or to Walmart or somewhere like that, before you know it, you have spent an hour and a half doing that task, right? So you have answered the phone, you did a real quick, and now you're scrambling to try to see if you could get something else done before 1 o'clock. But you know what? You choose to have lunch instead, which there is nothing wrong with lunch. And then you have your 1 o'clock meeting. Well, look at the difference in the days. By the 1 o'clock meeting, this person had the email done, the social media done, and got one of their 2-hour chunks of work, where you got one thing done, scrolled Facebook, and did a couple real quick errands, and now you're at your 1 o'clock. So you're feeling good, you're feeling rested, you're super productive, at that 1 o'clock meeting, but now you know you still have plenty of stuff to do. So after the 1 o'clock meeting and before the 4 o'clock, you do choose to just say, okay, you know what? I've wasted a lot of time already today. I am going to get one of my larger chunks of things done for the day. So you too schedule a 2-hour meeting, right? So you got client, and then you just don't leave your office. You get that 2-hour thing done. You have another client. Well, you still have 2 other things to do, plus this other meeting to get done. And now it's time to start considering dinner and whatever else is going on in your house. And you still have 4 hours left to schedule for the day. And because your house is now rumbling with kids and dinner and everything else, you now have 4 hours of work to do, and you're not going to start it until about 7 or 8 o'clock. So let's say you start at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You're done at like midnight or 1 o'clock. And that is hoping that nobody else calls you and you feel like, okay, well, I'll get it done, but let me do this other thing real quick, right? And so the reality is, I want you guys to start planning your day this way. When someone calls you in the middle of the day, can y'all see that? When someone calls you in the middle of the day, I want you to tell them, oh, that's awesome. Let me get back to you and look at your time at noon. Let me call you back after 6, because those callbacks, those doing favors for people real quick, that takes up so much of your time. And then your day looks more like this, where you have wasted a large chunk. You've done errands, you've scrolled Facebook, you've been interactive. You feel good at 1 o'clock, like between 1 and 5. You are productive, right? You have those 2 client meetings with that big chunk of time of work in between. But now you've put off all the rest of the stuff you had to get done, and you still have 4 hours of things to do. So what I'm going to tell you guys is, 1, schedule the big stuff. So schedule the time where you absolutely have to get something done that day. Schedule it first. Right? So I'm going to give you the tips that you're going to use for next week. Darn, I should have put my scheduler over here so I could show you guys what I do. But look at your week and say, okay, well, I have this parent meeting. I have this office meeting to join. I have this coaching session to do, whatever it is. Then I want you to go and put in the time where you need to work. Because this is where my clients get tripped up the most. They allow their work time, like the time where they need to be working on their business or the things that they need to do for themselves, they allow that to be open and free. And then it just throws their schedule off when someone calls or when someone schedules something over top of their work time, because they never blocked it off on their schedule. So I'm encouraging you guys to put the work time on your schedule. And I'm gonna pick on my husband since he is on my live this morning. He did that the other day. He has several clients. He has like new team members for his business. And I was talking to him in the middle of the day, because I am that wife too. I call and just like, oh, I was just calling to see what you were doing. Like while I'm doing my stuff, I'm like totally derailing him. But anyway, he told me that he was like frustrated because he had all these plans to get a bunch of stuff done, and he got a call and someone's schedule over top of the time that he was planning to work. And I said, why'd you allow that? And he hadn't thought about that before. But he also has new people, and he's getting used to how they operate and how they want to work with him. So what I encouraged him to do, and what I'm encouraging you to do, is, for example, I put on there social media, email, and like content creation, right? So if you know you need 2 hours to go through and respond to emails and then write out your emails for the week or for that day, whatever your response is. Block that time into your schedule. Don't allow it to be like something you'll get to eventually. Do it Tuesday at 10 a.m. or do it Wednesday evening at 7, and put it in as a timer. As something on your schedule, and you will get a notification about it, and you will be reminded that that's something you have to do. And put in all your things like that. So if you have to create your social media posts yourself, if you need to be engaging on social media, block the time for you to do it and get it done in that time frame. If you need more time, use that time frame, get off, and schedule more time at another point, right? Because what we do is we get on social media and we just start doing like 30 tasks, and we're not managing our time well at all. So put in the big meetings that you can't avoid, that you have to get done. And this includes like doctor's appointments. Put in the time that it's going to take you to drive to that appointment, all of that. Then put in your actual work time. Don't neglect it. Just schedule it in, put it in. And then third is all the appointments that you have with other people. Once you put your stuff in, then the rest of it is open on your scheduler, and your team members and your clients can book that time with you. And when people call you and ask you to do something with them real quick, you can tell them, awesome, I'll call you back at 4:30, or I will get back to you at 6 p.m. Does that work for you? Let them agree. Otherwise, you can't do it that day. You don't have the time, because it's not fair for you to keep dragging yourself through the mud because you're answering everybody else's concerns all day long and putting yourself and your business last. So we're not going to do that. We're going to schedule in all the things. We're going to get the things done. And I promise you, if you plan out your next week, maybe Monday and Tuesday, you might trip over yourself. But by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you'll be rocking and rolling in this schedule. So I would love to hear how you guys are going to use this, how you manage your time. If you're listening to this and you have some other tips or tricks that really help you manage your day, I would love to hear it. Please share it in the comments. If you know entrepreneurs or people who are new from not working a 9 to 5 and now they're home thinking they have all the time in the world, but they end up late at night, share this with them. Share this with people who you believe it could help. But absolutely, I want us to do better, you guys, moving forward with our time management. So thank you guys for joining me. Those of you who are on YouTube and the podcast, thank you guys for being with me, and I will talk to you guys on Tuesday. So every week, Tuesday, Thursday, 10 a.m., join me for Win the Day. You guys have an awesome day. Bye. Atiba, I think I did remember the YouTube and podcast. I just thanked them for joining me. And the podcast, my podcast is up, you guys. And email, what? Check your email if you're on my email list. It'll give you updates on like what we've been talking about and things, events and stuff like that that are coming up to help you stay on top of your business productivity and all the things. All right, guys, y'all have a great day. Be productive. I want to hear about it. Use some time management skills. If you're committed to doing this week, drop me a note like, all right, I'm doing it. I'm trying it. Try it for 1 week, right? It's like a free trial for 1 week. Try it out. See how it works for you. And, manage it over time, because it took me a little while to figure out what was going to work for me. You guys have a great day. I will see you next week.